This is a story, a journey, really, years in the making, one that crossed state lines and generations. How does a veteran say thank you for your service? Proudly. That's how. And if needed, in a letter, straight from the heart. One letter can make all the difference in the world. Everything can change with one letter.
I find it very difficult to write a letter to someone I have never met. However, the information I have discovered about you warrants this letter.
This is a story of a letter, straight from the heart. It started with an electronic letter, an email, a request to contact Walt Stein, a 92-year-old decorated World War II veteran. Hello, may I speak with Walt, please? Mr. Stein lives in Hartville, Ohio with his wife, Sandy. Seems his old friend Butch was on the road somewhere in the Midwest. Butch couldn't be certain. It's been about 20 years.
Wow.
He stopped at a flea market and saw what has become the heart of this journey, a Purple Heart. A medal bestowed upon U.S. military personnel wounded or killed in action. You can trace its roots to the 1700s and George Washington.
He has a friend who thought he was dead, came to visit him for Veterans Day and brought with him a Purple Heart in a frame that he bought at a flea market.
A smaller sized medal that means, well, everything.
And I can't imagine anyone even trying to sell one of those.
Butch was afraid of who might try to buy this medal at the flea market, more afraid of what would happen to it. So he bought it. A medal someone gave so much to receive, to earn, sold in a flea market for about 20 bucks.
Apparently there's a lot out there, but this is the first one that I knew about that was sold at a flea market.
Now, what to do with it? Butch remembered his old friend Walt. Walt would know what to do. After all, again, Walt's a decorated World War II veteran. Served in the South Pacific, Okinawa, the Philippines, the Marshall Islands. Incredibly, Walt was on a committee years ago to have the U.S. Postal Service honor the sacrifices of military men and women by issuing a Purple Heart stamp. His heart beats to serve.
Medals don't come easy. He earned it, he deserves it, and I want him to have it.
Butch flew cross-country to deliver this package to Walt personally, on Veterans Day no less. And here's what Walt saw. A Purple Heart, dog tags, a bullet, and a couple faded photographs of a U.S. Army soldier. In the background of this shadow box signed by the Secretary of the Army, a proclamation for wounds received in action February 2nd of 1971, a Purple Heart awarded to Private First Class Cox G. Bartlemay. The goal now for Walt? Find that man.
It means a lot to me. I don't know what it means to people who are non-veterans. Maybe it's just a medal. But they don't pass them out in Cracker Jack boxes anymore. You really have to earn them. And I know he earned his, and I want to get it back to him and or his family. It means a lot to me.
It means a lot to a lot of people, but especially a fellow service member. Walt served in WW2, PFC Bartlemay, in Vietnam.
It's just unimaginable not to have this going back to the original owner. That's how I feel about it. I wish everyone felt that way about it. If they did, it wouldn't have ended up at a flea market.
Oh, Walt and Sandy tried, but they just couldn't locate a Cox Bartlemay. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't solve this mystery. But again, letters are funny things. Remember, one letter can make all the difference in the world. Everything can change with one letter.
I promised my friend I would do my best to find its owner. It is my mission to return this prestigious word to you.
Take a good look at that dog tag. That's not an X, that's a Y. It's Coy, not Cox. It's a typo on the letter. It's Coy Bartlemay. Well, hearts were pounding, and the search was back on.
It'd be really, really great for me to know that it got returned to the rightful owner. It really made me feel real good, and I can't hardly wait to see this happen.
And Coy had the lower part of his right leg blown off by a booby trap in Vietnam. After research and plenty of phone calls, the search paid off.
But wow, what a story this turned out to be.
According to his family, Coy and his mother lived in Canada. A U.S. Marine Corps veteran by the name of George Bartlemay and Coy's mother fell in love and married. George brought her and her son to Illinois. Coy grew up, took George's last name, found himself in the U.S. Army. In February of 1971, Coy had most of his right leg blown off in Vietnam. Came back to the U.S. While healing, getting used to that prosthetic leg, Coy drove a car, took a turn on a country road, and was killed in a single car crash in December of '71 at the age of 21. A Purple Heart recipient, this Purple Heart, the one in the flea market. Coy never married, never had kids, but he did have a larger extended family. And this Purple Heart is now on its way back to Illinois, to the Bartlemay family, back where it belongs, all because this man cared.
Dear Coy, I find it very difficult to write a letter to someone I had never met.
One letter can make all the difference in the world.
I salute you, Coy, my fellow veteran.
Everything can change with one letter.
It broke my heart to learn that you had been deceased.
This letter.
Therefore, I could no longer return your Purple Heart personally directly to your hands.
Straight from the heart, veteran to veteran, and this journey, step by step.
I would go if I have to go on my hands and knees. I'll go. Plan on it.
Was only beginning. And we are just getting started. Tonight on News 5 at 11, Walt makes that special delivery, taking that Purple Heart back where it belongs. Please join us tonight for A Letter Straight from the Heart, page 2.